Hi guys, welcome to the Wednesday session. Unfortunately, we've just done the live stream, but there were a couple of technical issues. I had a problem with my mic, and we also normally have a second person recording it, and they also had a problem recording the live stream. So a little bit frustrating because I think it was a really good session. Quite a few of you seem to enjoy it, so I thought I would very quickly do a recording for you, running through what we've just gone over in the live stream. The live stream is about an hour, and I took some questions. I'm going to try and rattle through this in about 20 minutes, because I think in about 20 minutes time I'm going to get kicked out of the room that I'm in. So apologies if it feels a little bit fast. Next time I do a stream, I can recap on some of the coins. But anyway, the purpose of today's session is to review the altcoin trades that we've taken in the last couple of weeks. The good news is that pretty much, in fact, I think all the trades we've taken are going really well. We've taken some profit, and so I thought we'd just take stock, because I've been sharing quite a few ideas. I thought I'd just take stock of those and go through some of them now. Right, let's get into this again. So before we look at the alts, it's always worth looking at the Bitcoin chart, because the rest of the market is often controlled by what Bitcoin is doing. And that's certainly been the case in recent weeks. So you can see this fib retracement here that I've been using as an effective tool to give a quick overview of the market as a whole. And we can see, and we spent about 3 months stuck between the 618 and the 0.5 fib levels, as Bitcoin struggled to get over that 10k line. And when it was doing that, so kind of going sideways really, it gave certain segments of the altcoin market a chance to really shine. And those are the segments that we've been focusing on, and those are the segments that have done particularly well. And then we saw Bitcoin push up through the 10k level. A lot of alts suffered during that period, pulling back. And then since then, we're in this kind of new consolidation period you can see here. So this fib level, and when Phil and I last spoke on the previous live stream, we picked out the 12.1 and the 12.5 as key areas of resistance because of historical price action. And I think you can see Bitcoin is struggling to get over those levels. I think when it does, it could put in a big move. But until then, it's kind of going sideways, and that is giving a lot of altcoins, or certain segments of the altcoin market, a chance to really outperform Bitcoin and outperform certain other alts. Now, which segments are we talking about? Well, in the last live stream, you'll have seen me use this sort of segmentation of the market as a way that I find really useful to not treat the alt market as a whole, because I think as soon as you do that, you start to miss a lot of opportunities. Really simple way of breaking it out. We've got old majors, so top 20 coins, and smaller caps, and then we've got newer coins, and then specifically an area that I've been especially interested in is DeFi. I think that's a really hot sector of the market right now, and we've certainly been seeing that with some of the trades that we've taken. So I do think, or certainly when I shared this originally, I did think it was a good sector of the market to gain some exposure to, and we've been seeing the benefit of that. And some of the tokens that I called out here have been doing particularly well. But so this sector of the market, the newer coins, have done especially well, whereas we've seen the older coins with obviously a lot of baggage, missed milestones, broken promises on the whole. So therefore, a lot of excitement and money flows therefore have been heading to these newer coins. Now, obviously, as these become overvalued, over time we'll start to see money flow most likely back into the old majors, but that may not be for a while yet. We'll have to wait and see. So that's broadly how we've been looking at the market, and that's been influencing, that strategy has been influencing the trades that we've been taking and the positions we've been taking. Now, if we look at the older sector of the market, I think Decred's a good summary coin to look at. Again, I mentioned this on the last live stream, where we had this broad plan, And this applies for a lot of the coins that have been through a previous market cycle. So what we were saying is that Decred really needed to reclaim this level here at least. Ideally, get above this green level before we could be confident that money was flowing back into that sector and we could get a good push on. What did we see? Decred tried to get up there, it couldn't make it, and you can see now it's back below this other level. And I do think if Bitcoin puts in a big move, to be honest, probably either up or down, it's really going to push Decred and a whole lot of other older previous cycle coins down easily 20-30%. You can see there's this major weekly support here for Decred. Similar story if we look at another old cycle coin, Ripple. We actually had a quick trade here in the Discord. We caught this just as it was breaking out the weekly support and got this really nice quick 20% gain play, so that was great to see. Since then we've seen that Ripple has been fading and we are no longer in Ripple. We exited there. It's been fading and now it's even struggling today to get back above that orange zone. So I do think if they're not careful, unless some of these coins start putting in some big moves to get back up here and ideally above this upper orange zone, we could well head back down to the weekly support, the lower levels of it, which is sort of 30-40% down. And that will probably happen, like I say, if Bitcoin puts in a big move. But until then, Bitcoin's ranging. It means that some of the older cycle coins, there are obviously exceptions, they're not doing a fat lot. But what we are seeing is when Bitcoin goes sideways is that it gives some of the newer coins a lot of opportunity to really outperform. And that's really what we've been taking advantage of at Decentrader the last couple of weeks, which has been fantastic. Right, so let's get into a couple of the plays. Coty. This was actually the very first play we took in Decentrader. It's actually the first chart that got posted. If you scroll all the way back up to the trade ideas, you'll see this is the first one. I actually don't know much about this coin. It's really a technical play. I liked how it had retested the 200-day moving average and moved aggressively off it. That's always a nice little play in altcoins. Want to keep an eye out for that on a lot of coins if they can, particularly the older cycle coins, if they can reclaim that 200-day moving average. It's worth paying attention to. And that happened with Coty. Also broke out and retested this line here. And we can see the fib levels and the take profit we had set. We entered at 400 sats or just below, and we took profit today, which was great. So not bad, 50% move in a couple of weeks, and a very aggressive move from Coty. We do have the second take profit up here. It's pretty punchy versus Bitcoin. That would be 150%. So I have taken most of my profit off here. I'm just going to let the remainder run. Check the chat today if you want to see more details on how I've played this. But very happy with that. First play, and it's a success. So got to be happy with that one. Zalika, another technical play we took. Two things I really liked about this. Had a very clean descending wedge that it was breaking out of or threatening to break out of aggressively, along also with the 0.236 fib level here, and it broke out very aggressively. So we had some quite aggressive take profit targets. You could see I like to set my take profits just below fib levels, especially when a coin like this is really respecting those fib levels, which it's done perfectly. I also put in the Trade Ideas channel, once we got to the 0.5, that you might, if you wanted to be conservative, you could take some profit here, because I knew there is respecting the fibs so well, and that's what we saw. It came back down and now it's shot back up, and since entering we are about 30% up. So very happy, well on our way to the first take profit, and I'm reasonably confident we'll hit that level. Slightly less confident we'll get all the way up there, so I'll probably take majority profit here, but that's still a good 5-to-1 trade, and so yeah, acting very aggressively, happy with that, and could end up being more if we do go higher. I mean, that would be, I've moved this now, but about, more than a 10 to 1 play. So really, really nice. Very happy with Zalika and Coty, 2 nice technical plays. Now the rest of what I'm going to cover are more, I guess, strategic medium-term plays. So not necessarily short-term trades. And that's why you won't see me placing on all of them when I put them in the ideas channel. You won't see me placing these short-term trade things here because what I want to avoid is a situation that I had on Band where there was a nice cup and handle. So this was back in April when not many people knew about Band. There's a cup and handle forming. You can tell I'm in a rush. So a cup and handle, and I liked the fact that it was a up and coming smaller cap version of Link. So Link was already well known by this point and was pumping, and I thought it was a pretty good play to expect a competitor in the space to try and chase after it. So I took a trade and I got a nice 60% gain, felt very pleased with myself, talked to the boys in the channel, Snake, Adam, Legit, and then I even played it again. I saw this channel, played it for a 60% move to the top of the channel, very pleased. But then what did Band do? It went to the moon without me, and I felt very sad and very salty ever since. Because if I'd have taken this as a medium-term play from the start of the cup and handle, I would now be in a sort of, whatever that is, sort of 13x, well actually from the cup and handle it's about 15x play, and you can see it's still going great guns. We could make new highs from there. I'm just trying to get the point where I actually entered. Probably like I say 15x, something like that. So this is why, if you think a sector is going to perform particularly well, like I believe that DeFi will do, that it's worth hanging on sometimes and taking some profit along the way. And that's what we're doing here with some of these other coins like Swipe. I called this out as my favorite non-DeFi pick in the live stream. So you could enter here last week, and since then it's been blasting up. It's up, it's pumping again today, 90%, lovely. So happy days if you got into that one with me. I'm in from lower down. If I've got this on the chart, that shows where I got in. I actually FOMO'd in here, but I thought it was going to rip, and it has done since. I'm personally going to take a little bit of profit here, maybe. Now we're at the sort of 30,000 sats. If you wanted to get in a trade, this is pretty punchy, 9 to 1. I mean, if you got in anyway, you could take some profit now because you're nearly 100% up, 90% up. But if you wanted to, there's a key fib level here that I've noticed. Get the fib retracement quickly. There's a key fib level that is around a round number of 50,000 sats. People like to take profits on round numbers. I like to front run them. So I would probably look to take profit around the 48,000 sats. And it looks like it wants that. It looks like it's really pushing up today because Bitcoin is up a little bit, but nothing too crazy. So it's really helping these exciting projects to shine. Swipe, you can check them out. I talked about it before. It's sort of like a crypto credit card, but it's got some very good partnerships, so I'm pretty bullish on it. If you wanted to look at a coin that I mentioned in the live stream before on my sort of segmentation chart that I am bullish on, that hasn't pumped yet, Haven. It's sort of a decentralized privacy coin. This respects the fib levels really nicely, so take a look at that. It's got potential. If you think it's going to respect the fibs and want to get in lower, obviously you've got the fib levels there that you could try and play to get in low if you wanted to accumulate. But I think this could go quite a bit higher if it has a second leg. So more upside there. I like the look of that one. Another play you saw on that list just now was Atom. Also put in a very good week since the live stream. That is now pumping up about 42% today. Lovely. It looks like it wants to make a higher leg. I like that coin. I'll talk about why another time. All right, so those are some of the newer projects. let's get into the DeFi specifically. We've had some absolute stonking trades the last couple of weeks here in DeFi. Really, really happy. This was the second trade we put into Decentrader. Entered at around $2.35 on BitMax, so before it was even listed on KuCoin. That's why I don't have an entry point time-wise. But BitMax we entered in at $2.35, posted it in the Trade Ideas channel, and it has ripped up about 200%, up to $7. That's where I posted. I took some partial profit. Again, this is a long-term play, so just a little bit of profit taking there, but just makes me feel a lot more comfortable now. I can just leave this for a while and see how it plays out. I really like the project. Orion Protocol, if you don't know, it's sort of a liquidity aggregator for DeFi. So DeFi struggles with liquidity, quite small exchanges. Orion Protocol is sort of aggregating those so you can trade with higher liquidity, but you get to keep hold of your private keys, which is why obviously decentralized exchanges are pretty cool. So look into that project if you want to. I think it's really exciting. I am holding this for a longer-term play, but already it's put in a fantastic couple of weeks since we got into this. And interesting, I drew this parabola. You can see how it respected it, and then sure enough, someone else must have been looking at it. It broke down out of it, and since then it's been accumulating. Seems to have put in a bottom around the low $5. So you could put in some bids there if you did want to get into this or add to your position. All right, MTA, very quickly. One thing I do like about Orion as well, what I really liked about this and why I was very confident on it was the fact that it wasn't being talked about by a lot of big players in the space. There's always something, if you're doing some research, to think about, is it already being talked about by some of the talking heads, some of the Twitter accounts that have big numbers against them, so lots of followers? Because if they do, it would suggest that it's already perhaps a little saturated, and that's how I feel about MTA. I love the project. I think it's great. It's trying to make lending and swapping within DeFi more simple for people by acting as sort of a stable coin wrapper. They've got a really slick app, nice interface. So I think that will do well. It's a core part of DeFi. So if you think DeFi is going to grow, this has got a very good chance of doing very well. Also, so I'm in this from, I think, $3. I did have on here where I entered, but somewhere around here, around $3. Posted it for Decentrader as an entry around 5.5, though I think we were talking about it before then when I bought in. You can see we're up from that entry level around 30%. So I had this ascending triangle. We broke out of it. We've come to retest it, and now we're pushing away from it. The fact that we haven't pushed away with great force is again a sign for me that there's quite a few players already in this coin, and that's why I think you're seeing initially a less aggressive move compared to, say, Orion, where we saw a big push up this week. But I think it still looks good. I think it can still do well. If you play this from a technical perspective, your first take profit would be around $19, which is just shy, obviously, of the round number of $20. So that would be a nice take profit if you did enter here. Okay, BAL, another great DeFi play. So my strategy is to build up a basket of tokens in DeFi because I believe the sector as a whole, or I believed the sector as a whole would grow very quickly, and we're seeing that. But I didn't know which single coin would do best, so I picked a selection, and also I wanted to give you guys a selection of ideas to do some research on yourself. So this one was quite a funny one. Obviously, it was making this ugly W shape, had this key level here, and then when it got listed on Binance, bang, through the level. I posted it quickly and said, look, watch out for the retest, and you can see we came back to retest it twice. So we sort of entered here officially, I guess, We were in earlier, but official entry here, and we're now up 70% from there. Again, I really like this this project. It's one of the main liquidity pools in DeFi. So you can look at Balancer Labs if you want to learn more. But if you entered here, happy days, right? Up 70% already in about a week or less than. So really good, and it looks like it's pushing up again now. But these things are super volatile, right? So just be careful because it can easily retrace 30%. Okay, that's it, guys. Those are the key trades we're in and plays that we're taking. I hope you managed to get in some of them with us. It's been a brilliant couple of weeks. Things are looking great. And also, I have suggested a couple of others. I'm not going to go into the detail of them now, but check them out in the trade ideas. These are just ideas for you to explore more and do some research on. They're projects that I think are interesting and think should do quite well. So Yearn, I think, could quite comfortably get up to 10k plus. And another one that we mentioned and has been absolutely ripping today, up 27%, is Comp. So just a few different ideas there. I did also post in the trade ideas some very micro cap early tokens that are only available on Uniswap. So a lot of these DeFi projects you can trade and play on small exchanges and even now on Binance. But obviously a lot of people, including myself, try and find some projects that might eventually get listed on those bigger exchanges and are currently only on DeFi exchanges, decentralized exchanges like Uniswap. So I've mentioned a couple of those like Aleph and Zamp. They're doing not bad. And a little tip for you, they're so small, they're not on TradingView if you want to look at the price charts. So go to ChartX Pro, and that's what this is here, and you can look at the nice price charts without having to try and figure out on CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap what the price is doing. So a nice little tip for you there. A couple of small projects. These are ultra high risk, so I am just putting in a very, very small amount of my capital into them, but they're potentially high reward. But just bear that in mind with anything on Uniswap. They're really high risk stuff, guys, so don't risk too much of your account balance and manage your risk accordingly. That's it. So here's Uniswap. Next week I plan to do a tutorial on that. It will be a pre-recorded tutorial, so you guys can watch it back at your leisure. All right, guys, hope that was useful. I hope you appreciate this live stream, and I'm going to cut the recording now before I dox myself.